Hey traders, a very good evening to you. Let's have a look at US oil, so WTI crude oil from a multi-time frame analysis perspective. This is a very good opportunity for everybody for next week, and I suggest every single person will watch this um, basically watch this commodity for a very good trade next week. Now let's look at it from a monthly time frame. If you look at it from a monthly time frame and we pull a trend line from this high over here all the way down to here, you can clearly see that the market had respected this trend line many times before, or actually three times to be quite honest. Over here we have a nice test, here we have a nice test, and here we have a nice test. So basically the market tested this trend line three times and could not break out from this area from a monthly time frame. So let's look at it from a price action point of view on a monthly. Now what we can see definitely on the monthly time frame on this candle over here is that the market created this big push to the downside. Now what do we expect after a big push to the downside? It is pretty simple. We expect the market to come back up to grab more liquidity in the area for the next push to the downside. Okay, so on a monthly time frame and a monthly point of view, we are looking for a possible push to the downside. Why do I say we're looking for a possible push? It's quite simple, guys. If you have a look over here, you can clearly see that the market had very strong key level in this area over here. We had a strong key level over here. When the market reached there, it pushed straight down to the bottom. Okay, same goes for this area here. The market made this huge impulse to the downside. It then found support in this area and made this huge push to the upside. So what we are expecting now, guys, when the market will break a strong area like this, we expect the market to come up again and retest this area of previous support here, now turn resistance here, and then following the trend down, back down. So it's quite simple and clean price action. Now, if you take your Fibonacci from this high over here and you put it to the low of the impulse here, you can see that the market is around the 61.8. Must remember, guys, on the monthly time frame, this monthly candle has not yet closed, so we could see some more push to the downside. Okay, so on a monthly time frame, what we want to see is we would like to see this starting a push to the downside. If we go down on the weekly time frame, it's quite clear that the market had already started to do so on the weekly time frame. The market came to this area over here, it then started a quite big push to the downside on the weekly time frame. Okay, so the market made some sort of rejection there, and we can expect the market now to make a retest and further continuation to the downside. Because once the market makes an impulse down, we would like to see the market come up again to retest the previous support that it broke, now turn resistance, then further continuation to the downside. Very simple price action. Go down to the daily time frame. Let's go down to the daily. I will clean up the charts for you guys and you can see clearly what is going on. Before we go to the daily, let's just mark a quick area of interest. Over here we have a very strong area of previous resistance, which previous resistance and previous support now will be turned resistance. So you can clearly see that the market had a very hard time candle compression here to break this area, false breakout, and then closed below on the weekly time frame. Going down on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that the market had quite a lot of trouble to push through this area. So what we're expecting from this area, in this area we are looking for a possible push to the downside at least to this area over here, this area here. We want to see the market at least reach to this area on the daily time frame. It's not yet clear, guys, so it's not possible for you guys to enter the market yet, but what I suggest is keep this commodity on your watch list, because what we want to see from next week, we would like to see the market now starting a push to the downside. As you can see, the market had resistance here, it then had nice support in this area again, support again, resistance here, and now we find resistance over here. What we expect, we want to see the market making a push to the downside. Basically, by next week, we would like to see the market come down and at least retest this area here before we can actually see where the market is going. So we need to see some sort of retracement, because it is quite clear that this is previous support here, now turned resistance here, and we want to see the market making a push to the downside. But if you go down on the 4-hour time frame, you can see it's not quite clear yet that the market is going to make a push to the downside, because the price action is not showing us anything that we would like to see yet. But with our students and members, we are definitely going to look for a selling opportunity for this commodity to the downside for next week. So I suggest everybody to keep this on your watch list. Watch this area for market environment to change, and also wait for the market to show you the way that it wants to go. So if the market will now create lower highs and lower lows, then we can expect the market to make a push to the downside. But if the market will now break above this area and make higher highs and higher lows, then we will not be interested in taking this short to the downside. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on my YouTube channel. I will see you guys in the next analysis. Have a great evening.